What if I told you that the most valuable thing you'll ever own fits inside a small glass jar? Not money, not fame, not followers, a jar. And before you click away, this jar once saved a life. Let me tell you how. Hey everyone. Today I want to tell you a story. It's sweet, it's simple, it might even sound small, but stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you might look at your life differently, and maybe you'll start collecting your own jars of sunlight. In a quiet town where nothing remarkable ever seemed to happen, there lived a boy named Eli. Eli wasn't extraordinary. He wasn't the smartest in school. He wasn't the fastest runner. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room. But Eli had one unusual habit. Every evening just before sunset, he would take a small glass jar out to the hill behind his house. He'd hold it up toward the sky, wait until the sun dipped low, and then he'd close the lid, carefully, as if he had just captured something precious. The first time his little sister saw him do it, she laughed. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Collecting sunlight," he said. She rolled her eyes. "You can't collect sunlight," Eli smiled. "You can collect what it feels like." And that's exactly what he was doing. Inside each jar wasn't actual light, of course. It was a memory, a moment, a feeling. One jar held the memory of his mother's laugh echoing through the kitchen. Another held the smell of rain on warm pavement. Another, his father teaching him how to ride a bike, even though he fell 3 times. Each sunset he would think, what was good about today? What was warm? What was bright? And he would store it. Not because life was perfect, but because it wasn't. When Eli was 15, things changed. His father lost his job. The house grew quieter. The laughter grew thinner. Bills piled up like unspoken fears. And one evening, Eli didn't go to the hill. For the first time in years, he sat on his bed staring at the wall. "It doesn't matter," he muttered. "There's nothing good to collect." That night, he heard something he'd never heard before. His father crying, softly, in the kitchen. And something inside Eli cracked. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to let doubt creep in. Maybe the jars had been silly. Maybe sunlight wasn't enough. Weeks passed. No sunsets, no jars. One afternoon, after a particularly hard day at school, after whispers about his worn shoes and tired clothes, Eli came home and opened his closet. There they were, dozens of glass jars lined on a shelf. Dusty, still. He almost shoved them aside, but instead, he opened one. Inside was a folded scrap of paper. He had started writing notes to himself inside each jar. This one said, "Today Mom danced in the kitchen even though the power went out. We ate sandwiches by candlelight. It felt like camping. I didn't know we were poor. I just knew we were together." He opened another. "Dad stayed up until midnight helping me build the science project volcano. It exploded everywhere. We laughed until our stomachs hurt." Another. "Sister fell asleep on my shoulder during the storm. I pretended not to notice because I liked feeling needed." Eli sat on the floor, and for the first time in weeks, he cried, but not from despair, from remembering. That night he went back to the hill. The sky was streaked in gold and purple, the kind of sunset that makes you pause, whether you want to or not. He held up a new jar, but this time he didn't look for something perfect. He looked for something honest. He whispered, "Today was hard, but I didn't give up." He closed the lid, and something shifted. Not outside, inside. Here's what we don't realize. Life doesn't get lighter. You get stronger. Problems don't disappear. Perspective changes. The sun doesn't stop setting, but you can choose to notice the color. Eli kept collecting jars. Not because life became easy. It didn't. His father found work, but it paid less. They moved to a smaller house. Eli took a part-time job after school, but he also collected the pride in his dad's eyes when he paid the first bill on time, the way his sister hugged him tighter during tough days, the quiet strength in his mother's voice. He collected resilience, gratitude, courage. Years later, when Eli left for college, his mother handed him a box. Inside were all the jars. "I think you'll need these more than we do," she said. On his hardest nights, when exams overwhelmed him, when loneliness crept in, when rejection emails stung, he would open a jar and he would remember. He had survived before. He had loved before. He had light stored up inside him. And here's the truth. The jars were never about pretending life was bright. They were about refusing to forget that it had been and that it could be again. So here's the wisdom I want to leave you with. We think strength is loud. It's not. Strength is quiet. It's the decision to look for light even when your eyes are tired. It's the habit of gratitude even when your heart feels heavy. It's remembering that your worst day is not your whole story. We live in a world obsessed with more. More success, more validation, more speed. But the people who endure, the people who stay kind, the people who don't break under pressure, they collect sunlight. They store small victories, small joys, small proofs that life is still worth loving. Because one day when everything feels dark, you'll need evidence that the light was real and that you are capable of seeing it. So tonight I challenge you. Before you sleep, ask yourself, what was one moment of sunlight today? It doesn't have to be big. A smile, a deep breath, a song that hit differently, the way the sky looked at 6:12 p.m. Collect it, write it down, store it somewhere, build your jars. And if this story meant something to you, if it reminded you of someone you love, or if you were going to start your own jar of sunlight, hit subscribe. Because this channel is about stories that stay with you, stories that make you pause, stories that help you grow quietly stronger. And I'd love to build this collection of light together. Until next time, don't forget to look for the sunset. It's still there, even on cloudy days.